Do not, I repeat, do not DoorDash in 2023, unless you do this. As the years have gone by, more and more people are turning to DoorDash and other gig work for their main streams of income, and quitting those garbage 9-to-5 jobs that keep you enslaved by the man. According to EarthWeb, DoorDash now has over 2 million Dashers at their disposal. If I'm not mistaken, that's about double the amount that they had in 2021. So at this rate, we could be seeing upwards of 5 million Dashers by the end of this year. So why does all this matter? Well, because the more Dashers on the road means less orders. Unless the number of orders increases by the same ratio as Dashers, which according to businessofapps.com is not the case. As you can see here, the number of users was nowhere near doubling. In fact, the number of users only increased by 25% from 2020 to 2021. Now, the numbers haven't come out for 2022 yet, but I'm assuming the user count isn't going to jump all the way up to 50 million this year. So again, why does all this matter? Well, it matters because it means less money. I've been dashing for over 4 years at this point and have been through basically every up and down you can think of. The original reason I joined DoorDash was to have a lot of freedom and to make money when I wanted and to make however much I wanted. But as the years have gone on, I've noticed something. Being a DoorDash driver is kind of like being in a hamster wheel. You keep running and running, thinking you're getting somewhere when in reality, you're not. You're just stuck in the same place in that hamster wheel. And the way that relates to DoorDash is you kind of go out and drive, in a sense, running in the wheel. You're out there driving, thinking you're making all this money, when in reality, you're not. You're basically just stuck in the same spot financially. You can't ever quite get ahead. And let me explain what I mean. You go out and you dash for 8 hours, and let's say you make $200, which would honestly be pretty good in 8 hours. I mean, $25 an hour is nothing to sneeze at. It sure beats making $15 an hour at Taco Bell, but it's never actually $25 an hour. Once you take out taxes, gas expense, tire changes, oil changes, brake pad changes, and saving up for a new car, then that $200 you made quickly turns into $140. And the more you dash trying to make money, the more you're ending up having to spend, and the more problems you end up having. Stuff goes out on your car, you end up not being able to schedule because there's too many dashers in your area, people don't show up for their shifts in the restaurants, so there's super long waits. It seems like you can't ever quite get ahead, and some days it feels like I'm spending just as much as I'm making. So I say all this to finally get to my point. Don't DoorDash in 2023 unless you have multiple jobs. The sole reason I started this channel was never to be a DoorDash only channel. In fact, if you go back and look at my first few videos, they're pretty terrible, and they're about like credit score and stuff to do with the housing market and things like that, because I was a real estate agent, and the whole goal of this channel originally was to provide finance information for those who didn't understand certain things about getting a house, financing, different things like that. And it was also to show you guys how I'm making my money and hopefully motivate you along the way as you saw my financial journey progress. And hopefully as you would watch me, you would be able to work harder and smarter along the way. My personal goal is to work as hard as I can and make as much money as I possibly can, so that one day I don't have to worry about money, I can enjoy all the luxuries of life and not be retired when I'm in my 60s and I can't enjoy all of that. I would also love to have the money to help those in need, help out my family members, and do all sorts of stuff like that. And I hope that those of you who watch me share this goal. So why do I say all that? Well, if your goal is the same as mine and your goal is to get rich, then you cannot have DoorDash as your primary source of income. It just will not work. Even if you put in as much time as you possibly could, working like 15 to 18 hour days every single day consistently, I mean, you're probably capping out at like $120,000 a year, which for a lot of people, that's fine. Like, that is a good living. But you also got to remember, that's probably not taking out anything for expenses, that $120,000. But again, a lot of people are fine to live off of that. That's just not my personal goal. So if you share this goal with me, then you got to remember DoorDash needs to be primarily a side hustle. It can't be a main source of income. And the reason that I'll probably always dash is for that reason. You can literally be working at all hours of the day, which I really like. And it's some quick income. If you have money tied up in investments or other things, then you can go out, work like a week, get $1,000 or something, and spend money on the things you need to, like new camera equipment or whatever it is to run your other business or to help you out in other areas of your life, learning new skills and stuff like that. But the bottom line is you need to find other ways to make money, which is something I'm working on now more than ever, especially since I realized that no matter how many hours you put into working for DoorDash, you are never going to be rich. In fact, I just started a new side hustle outside of DoorDash, which I'll be going over in the next video, so make sure you subscribe, stay tuned for that, because I think I'm going to be able to give you guys some valuable information that I've learned as I'm trying to find new sources of income. Now, if you are going to be dashing in 2023, then it should definitely be part-time. At least that's what I'm doing. Now, again, if you are going to choose to DoorDash in 2023, then like I just said, it should be part-time, and you should also, while you're out there, be making as much money as possible and have a good solid plan laid out so that while you're out there, you're actually maximizing your time. So a great app you can get that can help you with that is the Solo app. Now, this is a sponsor of the channel, but it's an app I use every single day. And I think it's the best app out there to pair with any of the gig apps like DoorDash, Lyft, Uber, whatever it is you're doing. It's the best app to go with those because you can plan out your schedule and have guaranteed pay. Now, it's not in all cities, but it is in some. And so that's super helpful. I still don't have it in my city yet, but that's fine because that's not even the reason I use it, obviously, because I don't have the feature. But it tracks my mileage and it also gives great tax information and tells you how much money you can be expecting to make on average in your specific area. And it just gives you a lot of great things. So if you are going to be DoorDashing, I highly recommend that you download the app, link one of your accounts, and when you use the link I have for you down below in the description to download the app, you're going to be getting a bonus $10. So if you are going to be dashing, make sure you download that so you can be making the most out of your time that you're putting into being a DoorDash driver. And that actually leads me into my next point. The more you dash, the more problems that come up, like I mentioned before. And what I mean by that is when you're out dashing for 8+ hours a day, it's just not worth your time. The longer you're on the road, the higher the likelihood of you getting in a car accident is, and sitting in your car that many hours a day is terrible on your back and legs. Trust me, it is so bad on your body to be sitting that long. I literally am only 22 years old and have sciatica and all sorts of back problems from dashing essentially full-time for 4 years. It can really break down your body just as much as it's breaking down your car with all the wear and tear you're putting on it. So the less dashing, the better in my opinion. So I say all this and you still might be thinking, well, why are you still going to be dashing part-time? And the reason is because, like I kind of mentioned before, is to make as much money as possible, you have to switch things up. This is maybe just for me. This is what I do, is I can't focus and do things for long periods of time consistently. So it's hard for me to sit down and edit for 8 straight hours. I literally have to do like 2 hours, then I'll go dash for 2 hours, then come back, edit for 2 hours, go out and dash for 4 hours. Now, it is easier to DoorDash for longer periods of time than doing like any sit down work, in my opinion, but that's why I'm still going to have it in there. Is it allows me to make money all hours of the day. If I get sick of doing something else, it's really just easy to go out there, kind of turn off my brain, listen to some music, listen to some podcasts, and make money while I'm doing it. I mean, there are so many videos that I have in my watch later library on YouTube that I get to when I go out and dash. I mean, otherwise I would just be sitting at home, wasting time sitting on my couch watching them when I could be out there in my car watching them and making money while I'm doing it. So bottom line is, don't have DoorDash as your primary source of income. And if you are going to dash, be smart with it. But yeah, don't DoorDash in 2023 unless you have multiple sources of income.